G'day! Wombat here and welcome to Past Glory. Today we're going to take a look at a guitar from a really well-known manufacturer that, although it wasn't a limited edition, is really hard to find. Is a BC Rich PX3 Outlaw, and as I said, it's actually really hard to find today. It's not like it was a special limited edition or anything. They produced them in fairly good numbers. It wasn't exceedingly expensive, but it is really hard to find on the second-hand market. So let's take a quick look at it, shall we? It is the assassin style body shape that BC Rich was doing for quite some years. It's a basswood body with a maple neck, generic BC Rich tuners, which I'm assuming they make themselves, a rosewood fingerboard with 24 jumbo frets, and as you can see, it's got these very interesting fret markers that they call a hollow point fret marker. Goes with the whole theme of the outlaw style aesthetic. As you can see, it's a string through body with a not a stop tar piece, a bridge, much like a Les Paul would have. Two humbuckers, which are Rockfield Mafia pickups, a volume and a tone, a three-way selector switch, and the humbuckers themselves are coil tappable. All right, so let's talk about a few of the little interesting things about the guitar. Firstly, this whole outlaw aesthetic of the guitar. It starts with the hollow point inlays, which I quite like. They're a bit different, and extends down to the volume knobs, which I don't know if you can see. We might try and get a photo of them or something. They resemble the bullet chambers out of a revolver. So that once again goes right in line with that whole outlaw aesthetic. The other interesting thing about the guitar, apart from the hardware color, which is a like a dark metal, not a black, but certainly not silver either. The other interesting thing is the Rockfield pickups. Now, Rockfield make aftermarket pickups, and BC Rich approached Rockfield after having used some of their fat ass pickups and said, we want you to design some pickups specifically for this guitar. And they came up with these. They're called the Rockfield Mafia pickups, and you can now buy these as aftermarket pickups from Rockfield. The other interesting thing about this particular guitar is the fact that on the back here we have two strap buttons, a high one and a low one. Not entirely sure what that's supposed to give you. I'm assuming it's got something to do with the weight of the guitar and the way it hangs on a strap. We've got the other one, of course, on the back of the horn there. But it's a bit different. Not really sure what to make of it. I've never had any issues with this guitar diving while I was playing it or anything like that, so I'm really not sure what the thinking of that was. I'm sure somebody out there will probably be able to tell me, put it down there, but it is an interesting thing to have the two buttons on the back there. So that's pretty much it. It's a fairly straightforward guitar. They produced it in two different colors, in the black and I think they call it a gunmetal grey. It was kind of a silvery grey kind of a colour. It also came out as a PX3T, which had a locking tremolo on it as well. And yeah, these things, they made in reasonable numbers. They weren't limited edition at all, and they only retailed for about $900. So they weren't super expensive. And let me tell you, after playing this, it's a lot of guitar for $900. Aftermarket pickups, custom knobs, you know, the inlays, and it plays really, really well. The neck is thin, as you would expect from BC Rich, but the neck, I don't like really flat necks. I find them quite lifeless. I know there's a lot of you out there that do enjoy that kind of a neck. A shredder's neck, you know, is usually quite flat. I find that just feels a little lifeless under my hands. This is probably the best BC Rich neck I've ever played. It's flat, but it's not so flat that it feels lifeless. So playing it was great. The satin finish neck on the back made it super easy to get around. You didn't stick to it at all. And it was fast. It was super fast. The pickups themselves were really, really good. They are high output. So that's something worth thinking about with a guitar like this. If you're not into a high output pickup, the Mafia pickups are quite hot. So with that in mind, they did metal really, really nicely. A little more trebly than I'm kind of used to with a pickup. But having said that, they weren't so trebly that I needed to adjust them with the tone control. Fantastic either way, lots of definition out of the neck while still being creamy and warm for those metal kind of leads. So metal was not an issue. Similarly, rock and hard rock, not a problem. These pickups just ate it up. They loved it. Clean wise, they're really nice, really musical sounding. Really quite liked them clean. They were good, very, very nice. Once again, that in-between sound that I seem to really enjoy on a double humbucker guitar was fantastic. Blues-wise is where they struggled a little. But that's what the coil tap's for. The coil tap really changed these pickups. I often find a coil-tapped humbucker to be, I don't know, they're not single coily enough most of the time for me, and can sometimes even be a little lifeless. These pickups were fantastic coil tapped, particularly clean, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They really sort of came alive. It was really, really good and a pleasant surprise on a guitar like this. So coil tap, they did blues quite all right. Really, really nice. The tuners were good, had no tuning instability problems or anything like that. This is a really, really nice guitar that just plays super well if you like a faster neck and that kind of thing. So as I said, it retails for around the $900 mark. What are we looking at when we go and pick one up second hand? Well, these are really hard to find, as I've said. So finding examples of them for sale second hand was really difficult, and they don't produce these anymore. Haven't produced them in some years now. But when I did find them for sale, which wasn't often, they ranged anywhere between $250 to $300. Now that's American dollars. I could not find any of these for sale in Australia, so that was really difficult to get an Australian price on it, but $250 to $300 in American dollars. And let me tell you, this is a whole lot of guitar for $300. A whole lot of guitar. You'd be hard pressed to beat this in that price range. That is just phenomenal guitar for that kind of money. So that is why you might consider picking one up if you find one second hand, because there's not a lot of cash, but it's a lot of guitar. Aftermarket Rockfield pickups, I mean, wow, that was just, yeah, unbelievable. So there you go. That is the BC Rich PX3 Outlaw, and it is a really, really nice guitar. And if you can find one, grab it while you can, because there's not a lot of going around. I don't know if people just aren't parting with them, or yeah, they just never sold much in the first place. I really don't know, but it is phenomenal guitar. Fantastic. So that's it from me. Don't forget to click the like button and share and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. As always, rock on, guys.